There's a rumor going around that the February LSAT is the hardest one of all. I'll share my thoughts. Hey, what's up everybody? Steve Schwartz here from LSAT Unplugged, joining you today to discuss the rumor going around that the February LSAT is the hardest one of all. Before I get into it, a little bit about LSAT Unplugged. We offer live online classes via Zoom, on-demand video courses, small group coaching, and one-on-one coaching. Check out the links below this video to find out more and to book a call with me and my team. We'd love to help you out. So the reason I'm making this video is that I've seen some comments circulating online suggesting that the February LSAT is the hardest one of all. I think this rumor stems from a couple of key details regarding February specifically. First is that back when the LSAT was administered only 4 times per year, 3 of those exams were disclosed and 1 of them was not. The February LSAT was the only exam that was not disclosed, while June, September or October, and December LSATs were all disclosed. February was not. The reason LSAC did not disclose the February LSAT is because they wanted to save it for future test administrations. They wanted to have a test in the bank in case of inclement weather test closings or the Sabbath observers exams. They wanted to be able to reuse that test form on future test administrations. Now that the LSAT is offered approximately 8 times per year, and now that they've moved the exam online, they of course need to have more tests in the bank. So no tests are disclosed anymore, except for the couple that LSAC randomly discloses here and there. So in short, the February LSAT has always had a bit of mystique around it because it was the 1 test out of 4 that was not disclosed. Additionally, the February LSAT is the last test most law schools take for a given admission cycle. So for example, in the 2023 to 2024 LSAT testing cycle, the LSAT is being offered in August, September, October, November, January, February, April, and June. The February LSAT is typically going to be the last LSAT test date from which law schools will accept the scores, and the April LSAT and the June LSAT would be quieter exams that are taken by fewer applicants because they'd be taking it, of course, very early for the following admission cycle. Very few people are typically going to take the April LSAT, for example, because they could just take the June one instead and still apply at the very beginning of the following cycle either way. Of course, there are a handful of law schools that might still take the results of the April LSAT, but most will say February is the latest that we'll accept. Get your scores in by then, get the LSAT done by February, get your results back at the end of February, then hit submit on your applications. And if you can't take it until April or June, just apply at the beginning of the following cycle instead. Law schools typically don't want to wait around quite that long. And so February LSAT is the last one they'll take for that admissions cycle. So 2 reasons again why February is unique. One is that historically it was the only one of 4 LSATs that was not disclosed. And additionally, it's the last test from which most law schools will accept the results. Now, of course, is February actually harder? Of course not. If it was known to be harder, then nobody would take it, and the results of that exam would be rather suspect from a law school's perspective. The LSAT is considered a valid and reliable admission test because it offers consistency. Whether you take it in September, October, November, January, February, April, or June does not matter. All LSATs are considered equal in difficulty, and the raw score conversions, aka the curve, will adjust for any minor differences in difficulty between one test form and another. Additionally, like I said, LSAC is not disclosing exams because they want to save those test forms to reuse them on future exam administrations. And so what someone else got in February of 2007, you might get in June of 2018, and someone else might get in November of 2023 before LSAC finally releases that exam as LSAT prep test number 94, for example. So law schools find the LSAT valuable again because all LSAT scores are interchangeable and equally valid, whereas GPAs from different undergraduate institutions from different majors are not quite so comparable, which is one reason that law schools tend to weigh the LSAT scores more heavily than GPA. Anyway, folks, I hope you found this video helpful. If you are still preparing for the LSAT, you might want to get a copy of my book, Mastering the LSAT. If you haven't already, it's available at lsatmasterybook.com. So make sure to get your copy if you're self-studying for the LSAT and looking for that extra boost. And if you found this video helpful, please do me a favor and share it with someone who needs to see it. I don't do any advertising for this channel. I rely only on word of mouth to help get the word out, and your sharing this video link really does make a difference, and it could, of course, help someone who's preparing for the LSAT, whether they're taking it in February or another date. In the meantime, I wish you all the best and take care.